Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and I just got a pair of reels in. Matt sent these in, and they both are suffering from the same condition. This is a Penn Fathom. It's the Fathom 2 20 size level wind line counter. It's got a lot going on in this reel, and one of the things that's going on here that we're going to take the time to diagnose today is this line is not lining evenly, which means something's going on in our line guide assembly itself. So we're going to show you how to do the problem determination, and then what we'll look at is what kind of parts I'm going to need. I'm assuming that there's parts that are broken in here, and we'll go get those ordered. In a future date we will go do the full tune-up of this reel. But for now we just want to spend a moment here to show you what causes this condition, and then more importantly how to solve this condition. Well, if those are the types of videos you like to watch, then I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And if you do subscribe to my channel, please use the notification button to let you know when I'm posting. I try to post daily, and what I'm posting, because there's a lot of variety in this channel. Today we're working on an ocean level wind reel. Tomorrow we might be working on a low profile bait caster for bass fishing. We might work on a classic pond reel, or we might work on a surf casting or a pier reel from a spinning side. Both new versions as well as older versions, vintage type reels. So I cover a lot of ground. You're basically looking at everything that comes into my shop, and well, I take the time to video them to show you how to do it yourself. So I do recommend that you do that, and I appreciate those that have subscribed, and ask you to do so as well. All right. When you get line bunching on this, the level wind is not working because obviously the line is not level. First thing you want to do is just, well, spin the reel. We're noticing that the line guide is not moving. Notice the position of it, and so it's just throwing a lot of line to this side. Well, something's broken there. What you would like to do next is to look at the worm gear. Is the worm gear turning? Well, it's kind of turning a little bit, but not much. And so you might think that, okay, there might be an issue with the worm gear, and there might be an issue with the pawl that's underneath the pawl cap here. But most likely it has something to do with the drive of a worm gear, because a healthy worm gear would turn easily and effectively, and it wouldn't just kind of be kind of haphazard like that one. Let's go over and take the side plate off that has the what I'll call transition gears. The name of the gear is an idler gear, and the idler gears on these reels are a fail-safe. They're put in there in plastic so that if you have an issue with a tangled line, a snag, or something like that, then the plastic is going to be the piece to give away, kind of a sacrificial piece, so that you don't break the majority of the reel. If you have a line guide reel and you do get caught in a snag, do not use the reel to power out of the snag. You need to make sure that you protect those fail-safes, otherwise the reel will wind up on a bench like this one with a group of broken parts. Well, how do you do that if you're not going to power out of the reel? I always recommend using something like the butt handle of your knife, wrapping it around the line and pulling with that knife or the handle or your rod butt or something like that to free the snag. And if you're not getting any luck with that, let's say you're on a boat in a drift and it's pulling and it's getting real tight, cut the line. Line's a lot cheaper than repairing a reel that suffered a broken piece or a part. So do not power out. That's lesson one. And if you want to try and free the line from a snag, then lesson number two is to use an alternative grip, not the line guide. Okay, let's take a look at what's driving this reel then. There's a whole lot of things going on here. This one's a little unique in that it has a double idler gear. So the spool back here turns the small idler gear, turns the big idler gear, that has a secondary gear on that one, which turns the worm gear. Well, we're going to continue with our testing right now. We're going to turn the worm gear independent of these pieces, and we'll see if that makes the line guide move. Wow, that's tight. It's moving it, but there's a hang up in here. Yeah, right there. There's a hang up there that's tough to move. So you want to do a couple of things with this. The first thing you're going to assume is that whatever caused the damage in this reel has caused either the pawl to fail or the worm gear to fail. And in that situation, as you're going for parts, you might as well spend the extra $4 or $5, get the worm gear and get a replacement pawl, because it's likely that one of the tracks in this worm gear right over here is probably damaged, and you probably have a bent fork on the pawl. But we haven't found out what the cause was yet. Oh, we know what the cause is. We don't know what the cause is. We're assuming it was a snag and that sheared off some things. First thing you want to do is check the drivetrain. And the first part I'm going to check in the drivetrain is the spool. This is the drive. So this is the click here, and the inner ring of that is going to drive that small plastic gear. Well, I don't know if you can see it there, but we have all kinds of chipped teeth and broken teeth on the drive. Well, that's not going to drive any gears if they've all been shaved off. So we got an issue here. We're going to have to replace this gear. And to those of you that work on it, we're going to come back and do the reel as a service. But there's a little C-clip here, or a round clip here that fits in a groove that holds this piece in. When we go to order, we're going to want to order one of these pieces with the replacement, so we have nice crisp teeth here. And because that little metal clip oftentimes gets bent on the removal, we'll go order one of those as well. Let's find out where the other damage is then. So on this one, you want to just kind of roll it, and you want to check all of the teeth. Check it from both sides now. Check it front and center, and check it from the side. Now we're going to check, as this is moving, we want to check the teeth on the back. Well, the teeth on the back and the teeth here are looking okay, but if you look inside the case here, now it's going to be hard for you to see, but I can see that there's little broken pieces. And those broken pieces typically mean that there's some teeth that came off of this reel. Here's one right here. I don't think you can see it on there. So check the inner drive. Well, there you go. Maybe hard for you to see, but we've got one that's bent, and we've got two that are sheared off. So that's what's causing the line guide itself not to move. Here's a piece in here. There's another piece inside here. So we're going to take this whole reel apart. You might be able to see the one tooth here. That's a tooth that came off. We're going to take this whole assembly off when we get the parts. We'll start by removing the click ring. We'll take all of the gears off, and we will clean this all up, make sure that all those little teeth that are kind of stuck in the greases and that they all get removed. And then we're going to have to replace this gear and the spool drive gear, so we might as well order one of these. These gears are only $1 or $1.50. They're not very expensive, and it just doesn't make sense not to replace those. Just like it doesn't make sense when you feel it's sticking right here. It doesn't make sense to fool around with it. It makes sense to get the pawl and the worm gear. Now this one has 2 additional gears in it. I'm not going to go into it at this point, but there's 2 gears on the other side of the worm gear that drive the line counter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset the line counter. And I'm going to turn this, and the line counter is turning. You might be able to see the numbers pick up here. But the line counter is counting. So what that tells me is that we're okay with the 2 plastic gears that drive the line counter. We do not need to go there in our attempt to rebuild. So I'm going to go order those pieces. What am I ordering? I'm ordering the back end of the spool gear, the drive, the clip, and the two plastic gears that are the transition gears, idler gears. And because of that catch, I'm going to order the worm gear and the pawl. That should help us restore this and make this one work again. But in the meantime, we're just going to set this aside, and we'll go do a full rebuild of this. We'll do a video for you, a full rebuild on how to service this reel. Even if you don't have a line guide problem, you'll learn how to service it. And, well, we'll get this one fishing again, because that's the whole idea behind the channel. Give these reels a second chance. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that little introduction into why this fishing reel has failed, a look at what the remedy will be, and a kind of a pause in the action as we go to get the replacement parts. To all of our first responders and essential personnel, thank you for everything it is that you do to keep us safe. Your efforts truly are appreciated. And to everybody, get your reels ready. We're getting into the spring now. It's almost time to take these reels fishing. And I wish you the best. If you have any questions about how to service a reel that maybe you're working on and you're stuck, leave me a note in the comment section of this video. The comment section, I view all of the comments. They don't have to be on a particular reel, and I'll try and help you give your reel a second chance. So, to all, I wish you the best. Have a great day. Have a good day on the water. This is Dennis with Second Chance. Thanks for watching.